Welcome to another episode of OhManPodcast. Can we get that energy?
Let's go.
That crowd knows good. Happy New Year to everyone. Hope you guys are staying safe in this current pandemic.
We're good.
2020 has finally, we've said its goodbyes, but it feels like it's just a remix.
Yeah, you know when you go out and then you wake up the next morning and you still feel fucked.
Yeah,
that's what 2020 is doing right now.
The hangover.
Yeah. No, January is going to be a hangover.
I was gonna say, let's catch up and what everybody's been up to. Like, how was Christmas? How was New Year's? But it just feels like all the days were just meshed together. I didn't even know when Christmas came and went. You know, everyone was looking forward to for the Christians, everyone was looking forward to crossover
for the Christians.
Crossover was on Zoom.
That's unheard of. That's unprecedented.
I was even going to try and set up I take the choir to church, make it good.
To be fair,
stream it over Zoom. But the streaming equipment said, "Nah, we're not going to work with you. You're not getting none of that joy."
To be fair, what are you going to say?
To be fair,
I'm going to come about with it. So I was going to say that the Christians, as you put it, inverted commas, they've been gearing up for having to go online. They've been already streaming conferences around the world. Because I've been thinking about how often my mom tunes in to watch a service online in another country, and it's regular.
Yeah,
it's regular.
It's the new soap opera.
The switching to Zoom, although it meant the whole congregation too had to go behind cam. That's where I started to think in my thought, my to be fair is only at 2B.
2B, yeah. There's no fair about it. But that's what we're having to do with this pandemic, because the reason why we were all looking forward to the crossover and stuff, because they gave us a little bit of freedom for 2 weeks, and they said, "Oh yeah, you lot can do your thing, but still be in maybe 2 or 3 bubbles. Don't go too far.
Don't mind.
Shops are open, or you can still do shopping." And then December 23rd, you're hearing, so we're going to lock down the place on the 24th. We're going to be there till June 12th, but we revisit it in June 1st, or January, sorry. And you're just there okay, what is happening? This wasn't part of the plan. But then you're deep in, there is no plan. Everyone is just going through vibes.
But what made this Christmas good for me, I didn't see my parents. That was bad.
I thought that's where you were starting off.
I was going to be
that's the bad thing. That's the bad thing.
You know what's even worse? I was going to say, I understand.
But what? But what made it good was I went to my sister's house and she's got 3 kids. So with them being around, we bought them gifts, put up the Christmas tree for them. We got into the Christmas spirit through that.
So is that actually part of the question, or what you see on Twitter is until you have your own kids, you probably wouldn't enjoy Christmas?
I think so, yeah. When we were kids, we enjoyed Christmas, but now we're who you enjoying it for? So now with the kids, you're you see them up, you're I like that. He said, "Don't worry, Santa will be there at 6 a.m.
I said, I like that.
With Suya and Agbaluma on that, so don't worry. But how's Christmas for you in the Jigs household?
Christmas with a full family is weird. It's always great because there's enough people to talk to. If you don't like somebody in the family, there's other options. So what I'm saying is that it's easy to
there's more people to talk to.
Yeah, you can have fun,
and there's different personalities as well.
So going being home for Christmas was nice, and in our weird way, our family, we have a presence orientation. We know what to do when it comes down to birthdays and to Christmas. We know how to mobilize ourselves because it's a big family. And no one's trying to spend, 200, 300 on each person because, everyone will be broke in the family and that don't make sense. So it was nice. We got our parents, what our parents really love, which is, money. And
what parent does, what else?
Where's my Christmas money?
But no, it's nice doing that. And then we exchange little gifts between ourselves. And yeah, it was still a nice Christmas, but it felt very short-lived because it's one of those ones where you worked up until Christmas Eve and then you might have been working on the Monday. Yeah. So and then you're home anyway. So this whole lockdown, being home every day, meant that it's there's no change.
Christmas for you must have been...
It was grand because I had Dave and Tobin pull up. So it wasn't... I had people I could relate to.
Yeah.
But normally, last year, we came down to Anu's kitchen. And Christmas party, yeah. Okay, that's something I miss. Anu's kitchen must be suffering through this period.
I wonder what the pockets are looking like.
Yeah, what we're collectively missing is the GIA spirits that comes with Christmas. As we've gotten older, our own have moved away from presents and
You just want to jay.
Yeah.
That one was like
want to be with each other.
the Christmas New Year turn up is the best turn up of the year unless you go abroad and enjoy a summer festival. That Christmas New Year, if you miss it,
Here in Ireland.
And the New Year turn up, and our good friend was gonna do one.
Yeah.
But the government said, "Nah, fuck you niggas." Yeah. And he was like, "Yeah, I'm not about to have that."
and it is the first year in a while that's everyone has been
That's what I mean. It's unprecedented that everybody stayed home. There was a few house parties. I won't name names. Thanks for the invite. But like,
this guy's crazy.
But I think in the health over freedom episode, we actually discussed this at length. But now we're almost a year into it, and we're still seeing the same patterns being repeated. And
Some countries suffer more than others because some countries didn't listen.
what countries are you talking about there, G?
Listen,
We'll speak
if
about
we really get into it, we'll see that COVID is hitting different places differently because
Absolutely.
governments are outlining restrictions and rules differently. And we're seeing from the New Zealand all the way to the UK, we see the difference.
Yeah, you say government, but it's also the people.
The government and the people,
I think the British
they're
people are
together.
tapped, but that's
No, but the government and the people are together.
Yeah, so they all-
I think the government's a reflection of the
Yeah,
That's true.
Yeah, thank you.
People.
and that health over freedom episode we were speaking with, like, we had to dabble in natural selection and how, unfortunately not everyone will be able to be saved. Like, not every single person will stay in one place for any period of time for the virus to just, disappear. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It was never even a possibility. It was too late because we found out too late.
It's true.
We've been on the
And
back,
even when we
we've been on
found
the
out-
back foot since.
We were like just pussyfooting, like Tunde said, until like,
So-
okay, we gotta lock the place down. guys.
Now we have the new variant, and it's doing a madness.
Apparently,
in the UK.
one from South Africa just came through there at the weekend.
Oh, shit.
I don't know what style. I say maybe 1 in 50 people has COVID.
No, 1 in 30.
And I believe it.
1 in 30 in London.
1 in 30.
In London. Just London.
That's even worse.
Man says just London.
It's important that we understand where things are escalating and where
but
they
then-
are being controlled, i.e. here.
If you bring it back to here, now, at the start of COVID, we were shouting at 1,500 cases. Just a couple of weeks ago,
8,000.
8K. 8,000 people. Looking like, are you guys able to like plan ahead for this year or even going forward? Or are you kind of like taking each day as it comes type of thing now?
I'm taking it. Like, planning ahead is really tough. It's really, really tough.
Because you tried to do something.
Yeah. Try to do something. The coast was clear. And then these niggas came to that, we're locking the place down. So it's like, even like with me and my girl, we're trying to plan holidays since March. She's saying, she was like, let's book it for August and it should be fine. August came, it wasn't fine. This year, she was saying, let's book some holidays for April. I was like, let's wait.
Ajiks, how are you maneuvering through this? Like, are you able to like plan ahead, or are you kind of just taking each day as it comes?
Bro. Good. I don't overthink it too much anymore.
I think that's the key. Not to.
I used to
overthink
actually
it.
really overthink it, but I don't know. The pandemic has really helped to simplify it as well. It'd be like,
I think one thing the pandemic has, I suppose, universally helped everyone. I think is save more, in the sense you're saving more time. Not necessarily money, because I hope everybody would have the opportunity to save money, but also a lot of people have lost.
life at home is expensive.
Yeah, even like,
like sometimes you get bored, and when you get bored, you spend money.
the start of 2021 as well. It was just it was a roller coaster, because apart from the restriction hitting, we had our first interaction or fatality of police brutality here in Ireland, and it's never a good thing to hear, or it's never a good thing to experience. But it's even more surreal when it happens in your home country, when you see it happening in so many other countries. And then it's even more surreal when you know the person that was involved. And we've seen the tactic of propaganda, of how media works. And then to see it happen to someone that you know is actually just crazy.
So we saw it live.
Like live. And even the whole way it was handled, the way when it was reported, how it happened, the videos that were circulating, how everything transpired, like it was just a surreal experience, and I feel it's very important for us as a podcast and even just as friends to talk about it, because we don't stand for that at all. That is not something that we stand for. You have a right to a fair trial. You know, anything that would not result in the death of a human being, all measures should be explored before that happened. And for the fact that excessive use was used in Ireland, that was just astonishing to me.
5 shots in Ireland.
In Ireland, they don't carry on a normal basis. We'll get into all the different scenarios that we can see, but like, first of all, I just want to get you man's reaction on where were you when you first read and thought and saw it, and what were your initial thoughts and reactions?
I think I was recording. I think I had someone with me recording, and I think I saw it on Twitter. Then Kenny put it into group chat. You might know about the guy that got shot. I was like, yeah, I just read about it, but I didn't know it was a black guy yet. Did I know it was a black guy yet? I just thought I got shot by the guy. And I was like, whoa, that's crazy. Must be one of the Kenyan guys. Then I will go back on Twitter and I see one of my friends tweeting about it, saying RIP George Nkencho. I was like, wait, I know that Nkencho. I know that. And I just kept seeing it. And then I started seeing from they put Tog, they put, he had a machete. I was like, why? Whoa. At first, I was like, whoa, that's sketchy. But then the more I kept looking into it, I was like, wait, this is not adding up at all. Because you might have saying he had a machete, you might have saying he had a knife, you might have saying he slashed the...
There can't be 3 different or 4 different
he
scenarios.
He slashed the store manager. You might have saying he punched the store manager. What is it?
What's funny is it is the people that knew him the least that obviously tried to paint the most descriptive picture about him, which literally makes no sense. Like, no investigation has fully been completed. Like, just going back to initial reactions and how I felt. Like, you find out because we're all in lockdown, so I was at home. I was scrolling through. No, I was probably just in my room. I was getting ready to go home actually for Christmas because what did he get shot? Was it on Christmas Eve?
30th?
Oh, you got shot on the 30th.
Oh, sorry,
on 30th, just before
30th,
New Year's.
just before New Year's. 30th. It was 30th.
It was literally. Wasn't it the same night to Ask Crossover? Or was it
no, it was the day before.
The 30th. But yeah, it was just. I was at home getting ready to go home for New Year's, so it's just like I go into the sitting room and he says it. He says someone got shot, and as we don't really know the details, so there was not too much of a discussion. It was just like, whoa, someone got shot on the island. Whoa, that's mad, isn't it? And then return back to my room to continue packing. And then more information keeps leaking out, and then I find out that it's George. And in my head, I'm thinking, there's no way it's the George that that I used to kick ball with in my grandma's estate, like not like in the same island, growing up. So it was just very strange to process at the time.
You don't know how people deal with death. But you're seeing someone that just lost their brother, and the next day or 2 days after, they're speaking out, they're protesting, they're out trying to get the justice. But fam, you don't know. You don't know what tears are going on. You don't know what is being said between the parents, or you don't know how this has changed their life forever.
Because it has.
And I think that's the lack of empathy I'm seeing. Yeah, people are sending their condolences and people are helping out, but also you're seeing with the racist people sending letters like, yeah, he deserved to die, sending to the family.
I'm trying so hard to first day you will see the pushback immediately from what they will call right-wing Twitter, or the nationalists, just far right. Like, you could see immediately, like, they didn't care about what happened. They just wanted to, and if you engaged with them, it would be literally just going into a dark hole, because at no point will whatever you say impact them or make them feel
absolutely
like,
none.
Oh, maybe I should take it. We've seen, you don't want to say, we've seen it time and time again, but we have seen it time and time again, not necessarily in Ireland, but in terms of the reaction to how black people's deaths are treated and, viewed online and spoken about. We're spoken about as if we're lesser than human, as if human rights not all of them apply to the black, us, as if we don't fully qualify as human.
To be able to,
so to just see the way that they react, it's so vicious. It's like you can see like they're actually referring to us as animals when you look at the racist trolls online. So if you even begin to engage in that, I feel like it would just, depending on the type of person you are, it might make you so angry that you go and act out the way you shouldn't act out, and start like inciting feelings of hatred towards people that you genuinely shouldn't have any reason to hate. So I've just tried to like process everything in terms of information that is legitimate that's coming in, and retweet what is, retweets and share what is positive and information that will reinforce the type of character that George actually was, and for him to actually get justice.
There's no death penalty in Ireland.
Yeah.
And everybody has a right to life.
Yeah.
And they took those two things. So it's like
we've like, that's what's doing me about this thing is like, in a country where you're an on-guard economy literally means protector of peace, and you've literally like just like brought the opposite of that onto a family, and the lack of accountability. And we've seen this time and time again. March, we're protesting for George Floyd, and here 9 months later it's another George boy. And if you look at both cases and in all the cases in between, there's no need for death.
Can be avoided.
There's no need.
Want to speak of offenses committed. They are minor.
Countless.
They are minor offenses. Even if they were to be legitimate offenses, they would be minor offenses that don't warrant death.
Yep.
Every single one that is related to a black person. Every single one. Every single time.
One thing I will say to wrap up this part, us as black and Irish people here, we have to now, we're starting off, a president has been set, and how we react to this will, I don't want to say shape the future, but it will definitely leave a mark on history here in Ireland, because this is the first black man that has been killed at the hands of police brutality. But it's really important that we continue to step on their necks. Our voice continues to be heard, and in the end, that George does deserve justice because he was unfairly killed. So the very minimum is we have to get some answers as to why his life was taken. Because I won't lie, he's one of our own. God forbid. Because one thing I always think about is, God forbid if that was me. We keep acting like we can never find ourselves in that situation. How many times have you been stopped by the guards? Over stupid shit. Like, oh, why are you driving a nice car? Like, we know what it means for Gardaí to interrogate you just for your color of your skin. So to not have your life taken by one of them, nah. No. So it's very important that we stay on this topic. We don't lose focus. We stay on top of what is important in terms of getting the right answers, supporting the family through this, and to make sure that the narrative that they're trying to paint of George is not going to fly, because he was not a thug. He was not a thug.
Far from it.
Right.
Far from a thug.
So rest in peace, George Nkencho. Love and support to his family. Really hope we get the justice that he deserves.
Definitely.
But yeah, that wraps up the first episode of OhManPodcast. You can check us out on Spotify, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SoundCloud, and YouTube. Don't forget to follow us on YouTube. We have a lot of things cooking, so we'll talk about that next on the next episode. But stay tuned, and OhManPodcast, we out. Bow.